Hey guys, welcome back to Kat's Awakening by Truth. Yes, you heard that right. I decided to change the name from Chakra Healings to Kat's Awakening by Truth. I just wanted something more like catchier and more me, since this is Kat's channel. Nothing wrong with switching things up. I'm not going to overthink it because I do tend to overthink things. So for today's episode, a really good topic I thought we should talk about a little bit is boundaries, setting healthy boundaries, because it's so important for every single person. It's very important to set boundaries, and we'll just dive right in, like whether it comes to a relationship, a friendship, or even family members. Like, we have to set healthy boundaries with people, and if you're a people pleaser like me, it can tend to be hard, especially when you never set boundaries all your life with people, and then all of a sudden you start setting them. That will throw people off, because people don't like to hear the word no. People don't like to hear, sometimes people don't like that when you're like direct with them and tell them something they don't want to hear. But for our own peace of mind, like, we should be able to set boundaries. If you don't like something somebody's doing, or something makes you feel uncomfortable, like, it should be okay to speak up and say that. Because when we keep living for other people and people pleasing, we're not feeding, our souls the proper way. We're not listening to that inner voice in our head. And then when you don't do that, you just kind of feel out of whack all over the place. I did that for so many years of my life, just like changing myself to become a version that another person wanted me to be. And I did that for so many years, and then you completely lose yourself and who you are and what your values are and morals. Like, I'm just now relearning that in my 30s. Like, what are my values? What are things that I don't like? Because I always did what everybody else liked, whether it was family, friends. Like, it was always like, whoever you want and need me to be, that's who I'm going to be, because I want you to be happy, when I should want my soul to be happy and my true intent in life. So when we don't set boundaries, it can really affect things, because then you're just letting whoever do whatever. I did it so many years of my life. Like I said, like, even growing up, being heavy set and having low self-esteem, even just like with men, having no boundaries, letting so many people use me because I didn't see any value or worth in myself. I just wanted to make them happy or make them like me. And it's embarrassing to talk about now, because I'm just like, what was wrong with you? But I was a kid. I didn't know any better. I was a young girl with just low self-esteem and issues, and just wanted to be liked. And I'm sure there's other people, listening who have experienced that same thing or been through that. And just having no boundaries just caused such an unbalance in my life of just chaos, because it was just like, yes, whatever you want, yes, yes, yes. And then I'm running around doing things, and then I lose track of who I am, of my own self, because I'm just whatever everybody else wants. That's why I say it's so important, like, especially to the younger folks out there listening. Like, that's funny, I don't know why I said folks, but hey, maybe that's a new part of my vocabulary. That's who I really want to reach with this message, especially if you're young in high school and middle school and just like struggling to want to be liked. Like, don't change yourself. Be your true self. And if a person doesn't like you, they aren't meant to be in your life. Because if you become a different person for other people and don't like set healthy boundaries with people, like I said, you lose track of yourself, and then you have all these people in your life. It's like, you don't even know who you are. Like, oh, this person likes jogging, so I'm jogging. Like, I'm trying to think of like a good specific example. None's come to my mind as of now, but let me think of something. Like, let's say you start, you can use this as you make a new friend or you're dating a new guy. They really love sushi, but you hate it, and they're like, let's go get sushi, let's go out and do this, let's go do yoga. And like, you're so excited, right? Because you're like, I just got this new friend, they want to go to sushi tomorrow, and then we're going to start yoga together. Like, they're planning all these things for me, right? But that's not really what I'm into. The healthy boundary could be like, hey, I'm not really I'm not really into yoga, but what if we tried this? Or I don't really like sushi, but what other foods do you like? Where else could we go? That just something as simple as that is setting a boundary, because you shouldn't have to go somewhere or eat something you don't like just because, and spend money on something you won't even enjoy because you just want to make that other person happy. You just made this new friend and that's what they want to do. So that's the reason you want to do it. You just want to get out and be a friend. Like, any normal person, who respects you would respect, like, oh, okay, you don't like sushi? Okay, there's got to be other things they like, right? Let's go do this instead. That just something as simple as that is setting a boundary, or even just like setting boundaries in relationships, or even at work. Like say you feel burnout and somebody's asking you to do so many different tasks in one day. Like say a couple people call out and, or a person's frequently calling out and they keep putting that workload on you. Like there's an example there, like you need to speak up, like, look, this is too much. I'm burning out. Can we split this person's workload that has been out with somebody else here so that I'm able to get my workload done as well? Just those are just examples, because I feel like in this world and in this day and age, that does tend to happen a lot. If you're like a nicer, kind person, people can see and read that, and some people will just walk all over you. And that's why we have to set boundaries. And like a relationship too, if there's something they want to do that you don't like or you're not comfortable with, you shouldn't force yourself to do that thing because that's what the other person wants. And I'm just speaking from experience, because I'm somebody who has been a people pleaser all my life, and I've not been good at setting boundaries. I'm still trying to work on it now. And it can be a lot at times, because certain people in my life, like when I set that boundary, like, oh, where did this come from? What, like, even with I think family members, it could be the hardest thing too. I always try to like think before I say things, because sometimes I don't do that and I just like ramble, and here I go people pleasing now. Like, am I going to use an example that's going to offend somebody else, somebody in my life that might be listening to this? And there I go with the people pleasing. And when I should be able to use, examples that I want to use. I'm just trying to think here. I just need a second to regroup my thoughts, but we'll speak in third person. Say somebody in your family is like a really fast driver. When they drive with road rage, and you set the boundary, like, hey, you can't drive like this with me and my child in the car, like, your daughter or your son, whatever it is. And they keep driving like that. Like, eventually you have to get to the point, as hard as it can be, like, okay, we're not coming in the car with you anymore. We're not going anywhere with you if you're going to drive like this and put our lives at risk, because people are crazy out on the roads. And it's a scary world out there. So there's just certain boundaries that have to be set in order to prevent something dangerous from happening that could possibly happen. And that's why I say it's just so important. And we have to set them with every single person in our lives, as difficult as it can be. Friends, family members. I just don't understand like why people get so upset when you have to set that boundary. Like say you're in a family and they like to drink at every holiday event, and you're in recovery. Because I'm using this example because I work in the mental health field in recovery, and I've heard this so many times with clients where their family member is like, they're trying to get clean off alcohol, and when they're around alcohol, it's very triggering for them, and they stopped going to family events like Christmas, Thanksgiving, because when they go and they see the alcohol and they see the family members drinking, they get the urge to do it too, and they want to do it. But they don't want to tell their family members, oh, you can't drink, because why should I tell them they can't drink just because I can't, because I'm the alcoholic. So then I just have to completely remove myself. Like I can't go, because if I go, I'm going to drink if I see you drinking, and it's not your fault. It's just something in me that's not ready yet to be around alcohol or whatever the substance is. Because I'm not strong enough yet. And I've heard that happen so many times. And then family members get upset. Oh, you don't come around anymore. Well, maybe they had to set that boundary for themselves, for their own mental health and well-being, because they can't drink. And I use alcohol because it's so socially acceptable, and I hear this so many times. And that's what, like, being a recovering alcoholic or addict, it makes it really difficult. It's a really slippery, difficult slope, because you feel like you want to be a part of, you want to be there with your family on the holidays. But if you're not strong enough to be around the alcohol without picking it up, like, you have to set that boundary. And maybe just like explain it to your family members, like, look, like, I have a real problem here. I'm not strong enough to be around alcohol yet without wanting to partake as well. I see you guys having fun. Like, that's what I got so used to doing on the holidays. Like, we all have fun together, have a few drinks. I can't do that anymore. So for a little bit, I have to, put my sobriety and my own mental health and well-being first. And if any family member or friend gets upset about that because you can't be around that and can't partake when there's alcohol involved, then you have to put yourself first. You just, as hard as it can be, let them be mad, but you do what you need to do for yourself, because your life matters, Like, say you go to that event just to people please because they want you there, and then you pick up that drink and then it leads to something else, and then you're not here anymore. And I hate to get like deep and like say that, but that can happen. Like, we can get so caught up in other people and what they want that we completely burn ourselves out and lose ourselves. Like, just because we just wanted to make this other person happy. We didn't want to upset them or to lose them from our lives. So we just kept doing things that we didn't want to really do, and that's just not healthy. It's not. So you have to set boundaries. And, if you're somebody that's never set them with anybody, just start slowly, I can think of so many situations, like, recently where I've set, like, a healthy boundary. Like, say somebody was doing something that was bothering me, or showed me something from the past, or whatever it is that was bothering me. Like, before, I would be always so afraid to speak up, but recently, when I had a situation like that happen and I spoke up, like, hey, like, I don't really like this, or the person respected it. I'm sorry, I won't do that. And then it felt so good. It's like, wow, why couldn't I speak up and do these things as a child? Like, why did I just allow so many things that I didn't care for? When I could have just spoke up and talked to the person, and they probably would have, unless they're, which there's going to be people that are going to get pissed off when you set boundaries. But a lot of times when it's like a really good friend or something, they're like, oh, why didn't you just tell me that? I'm so sorry. I did not know this was affecting you this whole time. Now I know for next time, oh, this was emotional for you or traumatic. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it made you feel that way. And then you're like, wow, I could have did this a long time ago. And I'm sorry, but the people that get pissed off when you set a boundary, you just have to not worry about them. You can't let that affect you, because all of us were made differently. All of us have different opinions, views, different things that affect and hit us differently, or different experiences we've been through. So, like, certain traumas that might affect one person might not affect another person. They might joke and laugh about it because they haven't went through that same type of trauma that you went through. That thing they brought up triggered you, like, that was probably really confusing the way I explained that. But, like, say, you've been sexually abused or raped, and somebody makes like a joke about that in some kind of way, or shows like a meme, and I guess that's not something people would joke about, though. Why would you ever joke about rape? That's not funny at all. That was such a bad, oh my God, can we like cut that out? I'm so sorry. See, things just like spew out of my mouth sometimes. I need to think of like a good example. Okay, here's a good one. So say, back when you were a kid, like, you were playing sports or something, and a softball or whatever it is, basketball, hit you in the nose. And it was funny for everybody in the moment, and you laughed it off, just like, oh, I'm tough. We're just going to laugh about this. I don't want to look like a baby, cry. But you really went home bawling your eyes out, and you felt like your nose, never looked the same, or something like that. And then somebody brought it up like years later, like laughing about it. Like, you should be able to say like, hey, I never told you guys this back then, but like, that was a trauma for me. I feel triggered when you laugh about that, because nobody knows this, but I had to get surgery on my nose. Say you kept it a secret and didn't want anybody to know. Like, anything that bothers you or just makes you feel uncomfortable, that's what I'm basically trying to say. Like, you should be able to set a boundary and tell somebody, because if you don't say something that it's bothering you, nobody's going to know. So like I said, whether it be with a friendship, a family member, at work, wherever it is, if you feel something in your soul that there's a boundary that needs to be set with a certain person, then you need to set it. You need to stop worrying about what other people are going to think or say about you setting that boundary, because then you're not living in your true self or being your true self. Like, we should be able to speak up and say whatever we want, because we were all made differently. God made us all differently, different shapes, races, backgrounds, whatever it is, and different things hit and affect different people in different ways, as I've said many times, throughout this episode. So we have to set those boundaries in life. And I could go on and on for hours, but yeah, that was like the main point of this episode. Set healthy boundaries in your life and do what makes you truly happy and what truly feeds your soul. And if you set that boundary, like say you're in a relationship and you're like, hey, I don't like when you talk to me this way, or when you say this really affects me. Like, I understand we're going to fight and say things when we're upset, but that hurts me deeply. That's something, that word just really triggers me. If they keep doing it and they keep bashing and breaking down your boundaries, then eventually you have to set the boundary of letting that person out of your life. Especially with friendships. Like, say it's a friendship where it's just like negative all the time. Like, of course you're supposed to vent to your friends, right? I look at it as like, we're all each other's therapists. We're supposed to help each other in this world. But say like every time you talk to them is nothing but negative, and you have been through so many battles in your life and you're still going through them, but you're trying your best to stay positive and become a new person and like remember all the things that you have to be grateful for in the world, instead of focusing on all the things you don't have. And you have this friend constantly texting or calling you every day like, I hate life, or whatever it is. Like, sometimes you have to set the boundary of just like loving them from a distance, or say like you've grown and you're doing different things and they're still stuck in the same things and patterns. Like I've said before, you are who you're surrounded by. You start to become like that. So it's like, if you have to set a boundary with a friendship and cut them off for a little bit for your own peace and happiness, then oh well, because that matters and you matter and your mental health matters, and other people can affect us. Like, yes, we are supposed to be there for each other during hard times. That's what a true friend does. I've had many friends there for me through my worst times where I didn't even want to be alive anymore. But I had to make a lot of changes to get to where I am now, and realize why I wasn't happy, because I was doing nothing with my life. And a lot of it was during a bad time with addiction, with drugs, and it was just one drug to the next. And then I was wondering why my life was so terrible and why I don't want to be here anymore, why I needed to get help. And guess what? I got that help. I've been to quite a few rehabs. I've been to many counseling centers. I've been trying to do the work throughout my life to heal my issues, because I still have them, right? I've fixed a lot of things. I'm doing great now. I work in the mental health field in the rehab. I've had 5 years clean off of like hard drugs, off of heroin and crack cocaine. But there's still other things I struggle with, and there's still many behaviors that I'm still trying to fix, because those behaviors don't just go right away when you first get clean. Like, it takes a long time to unlearn. Like, you have to like literally retrain your brain, and that's what I'm trying to do now. In so many areas, is just like retrain my brain and the way I react to certain things, because I definitely still have a lot I need to work on. But I know that's going to take time, because you don't just unlearn all those things right when you get clean. Like, I'll never forget like when I first got clean, and I still had like the attitude and the entitlement with my dad. And I remember him saying like, oh, like, what are you doing, drugs again? You sound like a drug addict. And that hit deep. That really hurt me, because I really wasn't getting high at that time. But I was still so used to like that entitlement, that behavior, like, give me what I want now, or it's the end of the world and I'm going to freak out. Like, that's something I'm like, I've unlearned it a lot, but like I can still be entitled at times. And with my dad, because for so many years that wasn't like, I was spoiled rotten, and expected a lot from him. And I'm trying not to be like that now, because it's like, okay, you're 31 years old now, Kathleen. You can't rely and lean on your dad for everything. You have to grow up at some point. And that's something I'm trying to learn now. And I love my dad to death. If you're listening, Dad, you have no idea. I'll never be able to repay you, for all I do. I have so many beautiful family members who support and help me so much in this life, and I couldn't do any of it without them. But I do know that that's something I have to work on. And it was really bad when I was on drugs. Like my poor dad had to, go through his own type of therapy from that. And I'm just trying to be a better person in this day and age. So I have to unlearn all those things. And even setting boundaries with yourself. Like, look, you can't spend this much. You can't. That's something I'm trying to work on now, is like budgeting better. You have to set boundaries with yourself too. And talk yourself out of things that aren't good for you. So that's just really important. But it's funny, I got into a tangent here into so many different topics. My ADHD brain does that. But yeah, it's just set the boundaries that need to be set. And if you lose anybody from your life, like in the process, like I said, those people weren't meant to be in your life. Like I suck at setting boundaries, but recently I've been just kind of staying to myself more. Like I'll talk to my close friends, but I just can't be in all, like, with certain people who are like still stuck and just like lost. Like it's like I want so bad to help them, right? I want so bad for them to get where I'm at, because I still have good and bad days. But that's the thing. Now I don't let that bad day last a whole week or a whole month like I used to. Sometimes it might even last for a week, but I always try to find a way to break out of that, because I know that if I do that, I'm going to continue being miserable. And I do what I have to do to make the changes to get what I need. Like say I'm stressing about money, or whatever it is. Like I stress about money often, because the second I get paid, it seems like I'm always broke after like paying bills so quickly. And it's embarrassing when somebody's like, hey, you want to go do this? And like, oh no, I'm broke. And then I'm constantly saying I'm broke, and then I just look like this cheap person who's broke. So now I've started like, okay, were you going to keep complaining and crying about that money problem? No, you're going to get out there and hustle, DoorDash, do what you need to do to get some extra funds, because complaining's not going to get us anywhere in life. So when it's like I said, like if it's a friendship where it's like negatively pulling you down, and like everything they say is just negative all the time, you can love that person still. I have many friendships who I've loved from a distance recently, because I had to set that boundary for myself, because they were bringing me down. Like I was going through my own things, and then, like I said, of course we need to vent to each other. Any friends listening, please still vent and talk to me. I'm just like trying to use examples. Like if that person is going to stay stuck in that negativity for more than a week, like there's nothing I can do for you. Like that is where you need to find Jesus and God, because that's the only thing that helped me get out of a dark place. Our friends are not going to save us, or our family member, they're not going to save us from the battle, literally, like Joyce Miles says, the battlefield of the mind. The only person that can save us from that is, you have to find God. God is the only person that pulled me out of the darkest places. God is the only person I pray every day. Help me set boundaries with people. Anything that I want, I realized I have to pray for, because I can't control these situations. I don't even know how to control myself properly. I don't know how to set boundaries properly. So that's my biggest suggestion. If there's something you're struggling with as a human, your human power can't change that. You got to give it up to God. And that's what I say to friends, and I tell them all the time. And it's just frustrating when some of them are just still crying about the same things. And I'm like, I told you what to do. I gave you the solution. It's up to you to take it and do what you will with it, and try to get better. If you're not going to try to get better and change, you're going to be stuck in the same place. Nothing changes until you do. If nothing changes, nothing changes. That's something I've heard, in the rooms of AA and NA. You have to change. You have to set those boundaries. And if you struggle with them, you pray to God every single night and morning when you wake up. Please help me with whatever this issue is. Please help fix the issues within me. Please help guide me, because I don't know how to guide myself. Please help me set these healthy boundaries in my life without overthinking it, or without these people wanting to leave my life, because I'm setting this boundary for myself and for what I truly know and feel in my heart. Please, God, allow me to be able to do that without upsetting others. Just something as simple as that, pray about it. Pray about it, and God will help you set those boundaries, because He's been helping me. And I promise you, I would not be where I am today. If I told you guys some of my stories, I've been in such the darkest places. I've struggled with many things, and I know that I would not have everything I have now, or be where I'm at now on this podcast talking to you guys as somebody who had all kinds of issues growing up and still has issues within herself she's trying to change and unlearn. But I know none of this would be possible without God. So if you're really struggling to set boundaries, pray to God, and I promise He will help you set those boundaries in a healthy way. Do what you need to do for yourself. I love you guys, and I appreciate all the support. Thank you for everybody who keeps listening. Have a good week.